And as we have read till Canto 10, Chapter 8. Chapter 9 is Krishna, Mata Yashoda, that, pastime Damodar Lila. So in about month or month and a half, maybe somewhere around end of July, we will start that, and next 2-3 chapters are 9, 10, 11-ish. We will continue that till Damodar month. So that's the plan. Okay, and some devotees give their approval. So with your blessings and your prayers, we will begin Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityānanda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityānanda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Vande Guru Nisha Bhaktan. For those reference, this is first verse of Adi Lila chapter 1, first few verses. Vande Guru Nisha Bhaktan Isha Nisha Avatarakan Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangyakam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityaananda Sahoditau Gaurudaye Pushpamanatau Chitrau Sandau Tamonudau Granthera Arambho Kori Mangala Charana Guru Krishna Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Hoya Vigana Vinashana Anayasa Sapal Hoya Vanchita Purana Jaya Jaya Kripa Moy Jagatera Nath Sarva Jagatera Koro Shubha Drishti Pat. This is the last verse of all the chapters. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami speaks, and we will just follow in his footsteps and do this last verse of all the chapters pretty much. He's offering his Dandavad Pranam in the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Raghunath. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Yara Asha Caitanya-caritāmṛta Kahe Krishna Dasa. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, following in their footsteps. Hare Krishna, my dear wonderful friends, devotees. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the Bhakta Vrinda. For next about month and a half, we will reach the Nityaṁ, since we have not read that for a long time. And by the time we are at the month and a half end, we'll start Bhāgavatam, and the month of Damodar will be closer, and then we will make some progress in the Damodar Lila, which is very, very important in the month of Kartik or Damodar. Now, we read it, the last time we read was Canto. So Adi Caitanya-caritāmṛta is divided into 3 parts, basically Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, and Anta Lila. There are no cantos, it's not cantos 1 to 12. It's 3 subdivisions, Adi, Madhya, and Anta. Basically, the first 16 years, the middle 16 years, and the end 16 years of Lord Chaitanya's pastime. He spent about 48 years. So that's how these divisions are. So we are reading chapter 5 in Adi Lila, the glories of Lord Nityaṁ Balarāma. And we have read till text number 22. Text number 22 we have read. And just to give a very, very quick background on this. So Shri Balarāma is the Mula Sankarshana. And he assumes multiple forms, the 3 Vishnus are his expansions: Karuna Dakshai Vishnu, Shira Dakshai Vishnu, Garbho Dakshai Vishnu. And he expands also as Shesha, who holds all the planetary systems with his thousands and millions of hoods. And we were discussing that he also, in the Paravyoma, or in the spiritual sky, he lie in the Vaikuntha, the Vaikuntha planets. So basically all the spiritual world is also expansion of Balarāma. So whose expansion of Krishna, and places like Dwarka, Mathura, Gokula, etc. So that's going to come now. So Lord Nityananda's form, we discuss Sankarshana, and we discuss the Chaturvyuha. Now we are talking about the Paravyoma. Paravyoma means the world beyond this world, and that is the spiritual world. So we covered text 22, which was quite long in purport, almost like 10 pages of purport. We have read that, and it is a beautiful description of the spiritual world. So if anyone wants to read a little bit more about spiritual world, there is very nice description in almost 8-10 pages here. But we covered that. The recordings are also available in case anyone wants to go deeper. But for now, just with that background, we will move on to chapter 5, text 23. And this has a little different meter. Some verses, more than 80% of the verses are in Bengali language. There are some in Sanskrit from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and other scriptures. So, but the most Bengali verses have a very melodious, poetic meter, which most of you know, but just in case someone is reading this first time, to give a background is nice. So let's begin. Jai Śrī Caitanya Prabhu Nityānanda, Śrī Advaita-Gadadhar Śrīvasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Mathura Dwarkaya Nija Rupa Parikashya Nana Rupe Vilasaya Chaturvyuha Haina. Translation by Abhayacharana Arvind, Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Lord Krishna manifests his own form in Mathura and Dwarka. He enjoys pastimes in various ways by expanding into quadruple forms. So Krishna expands. This is text 23. In the following verses will explain this more. So the Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, those forms are called the quadruple forms or the Chaturvyuha forms. Okay, next verse, the 24-25, let's read, and then we can discuss a little more. Who wants to read 24? Anyone? Feeling inspired to read 24?
I can read, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Text 24. Vasudeva Sankarsana Pradyumna Niruddha Sarva Chaturvyuha Angshituriyo Vishuddha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Vasudev, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha are the primary quadruple forms from whom all other quadruple forms are manifested. They are all purely transcendental. Back to you.
Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for so nicely reciting this beautiful verse. So we have all heard about this. Rabir Prabhu explained this in very, very nice, great detail, which I really appreciate, and I'm sure he's going to do that very soon, again, for everyone's benefit. Because in Kali Yuga, the great thing is that memory is very, very short, especially for a person like me. So maybe he can read 25. But Prabhu, are you in a position to Prem Sankirtan, Prabhu? Are you in a position to read?
Okay, Prabhu, I can read. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 25. Ei tinaloke Krishna kebala Lila-moy, Nija gana loya khele ananta samay. Translation. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Only in these three places, Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokula, does the all-sporting Lord Krishna perform his endless pastimes with his personal associates. Text 26. Parabhyama madhya kori shorupa prakash Narayana rupe karen bibida bilash. Translation by His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Joy Srila Prabhupada. In the Vaikuntha planets of the spiritual sky, the Lord manifests his identity as Narayan and perform pastimes in various ways. Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, back to you.
You have any additional thoughts, Prabhu, on these
Okay,
two?
so yeah, just all of us, we know about that. I just want to share with you again. So we know that Krishna's first expansion, Balarāma, in Vrindavan. And we just read, I was remembering the last verse we read, and which, if you remember, where Srila Prabhupada translated, he stated that Krishna and Balarāma actually increases the by their pastime, they increases the happiness in all the demigods who were requested by Lord Brahma to come and join in his pastimes. So here we can see that Balarāma was Krishna's first expansion in Vrindavan. And Balarāma, then he actually expanded himself in first quadruple in Mathura and Dwaraka. And that was Vasudeva, Shankarshan. And in Dwaraka, Vasudeva, Shankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. So those are the four. And we know that there are a lot of pastimes. Even Pradyumna and Aniruddha also had a lot of pastimes, nice pastimes. We will read it in Bhāgavatam, and in Krishna book, actually Prabhupada mentioned all these things, like how Pradyumna was, he got married, and how Aniruddha got married, and all these pastimes. So here Prabhupada is just in a brief, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explaining all the pastimes they did. But and as you can see, even if we just compare in Lord Ram's pastimes, we know Lord Ram's lot of pastimes, especially in the Chitrakoot Parvat and all these things, how he did. But we don't know that much, like how Krishna was playing with the calves, and how he was playing with other gopis, how he was stealing, all this nice pastime. We just read it, actually, so we can think about those pastimes, and that is explained here. But Lord Ramchandra's, those pastimes, we don't know that much, actually. We know some. So Lord Ramchandra also, they are the four quadruple there. Lord Ramchandra, Lakshman was the Shankarshan expansion. Lord Ramchandra was the expansion of Vasudeva. And Pradyumna and Aniruddha was Bharat, and Aniruddha was Shatrugna. So the same quadruple. That is in Ajodhya Dham. So here, and then after that Shankarshan in Dwaraka, that's called, as Prabhu was mentioning, Mula Shankarshan. Mula Shankarshan actually divides himself into Narayan. And Narayan, now we can see there is an inconceivable thought thinking that we cannot think. That Narayan actually, unlimited number of Narayan, unlimited Vaikuntha. There are unlimited Vaikuntha. So, and that is the second layer. Prabhu was mentioning that spiritual world, we can get some idea from Prabhupada's explanation in the last verse and 22nd verse. So that unlimited Vaikuntha, there are unlimited Narayan. And from that Narayan, we will come to know that the second quadruple expansion, where again Vasudeva, and that Shankarshan is Mahashankarshan. And then, so their pastimes are little different, actually. That was mentioning in the 26th, that because in there in the Vaikuntha planets, all the pastimes are with awe and reverence. There nobody is equal to Krishna, even though they have, we know that some of them are Sharipo, they have the feature like Lord Narayan. They have four-armed, their skin color is like bluish. Some of them are, their wealth is like Narayan, but even then, they are all having pastimes like awe and reverence. There is nothing like, they are not even giving hug to Lord Narayan there. And from there, they came second quadruple. And second quadruple is the Vasudev Mahashankarshan and then Pradyumna Aniruddha. From that Mahashankarshan comes the Karanadakshay Vishnu. He was lying in one corner of the spiritual world. The whole spiritual world is covered by the Brahma Jyoti. He was lying in one corner, and from his body, Karanadakshay Vishnu's body, the sweat comes, and that sweat produces the Karan ocean, Karan Sagar. And from there, from his hair follicles, the air comes, and air forms from the inside the water, it forms a bubble, and each bubbles are universe. Here, can you think like it's like totally inconceivable? If there is Ananta Koti, unlimited Narayan, so they are most likely unlimited second quadruple. They are most likely from that second quadruple unlimited number of Karanadakshay Vishnu, which is beyond our thought. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you. Please add, Kari.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very, very nicely you explained this point. And I found these two charts, which maybe are you able to see these two charts? Or one at a time, I mean.
See one,
right? Yeah, so I mean, it's one after the other. So let's see. Krishna, the Adi Purusha, the Govindam Adi Purusham, their expansions, Balarāma and Radharani is the Shakti Tattva. So the orange represents the Vishnu Tattva. So the first set of, they're called the Adi Chaturvyuha, the four, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, then comes Narayana, then the second Chaturvyuha, as Prabhuji just nicely explained, then comes the Karanadakshay Vishnu, Garbhadakshay Vishnu, Shridakshay Vishnu, and etc. There's another chart which I also found from one of the ISKCON sites. This has a little more technical terms. The Swaamsha, the Prabhava Prakash. That means the forms of the Lord which are identical. Like the 16,000, Krishna expands in 16,000 forms. They're identical. But Ekahi Swarupa Bhinna Matrakaya. That's Balarāma. Vaibhava Prakash. His form differently manifested according to the different emotional. So Lila is Sahai to help in the pastimes. You remember this verse? Ekada Krida Manaste Ramadhya Gopadaraka. Krishna used to play with Balarāma and his friends to help in the Lila. Then Tad Ek Atma Rupa. So the Ek Atma. Lila, the form is different. Krishna is Sham complexion, Balarāma is white complexion. And then we discuss the Adi Chaturvyuha, VSPA, Vasudeva Sankarshan and Pradyumna. Then Narayana, then the second Dvitiya Chaturvyuha. So, and that's a section we are basically reading right now in these verses. I know if sorry.
So if we can kindly post those charts in the group. Thank you.
Sure. I'm not sure if you already know all these charts. Maybe I was thinking you should draw a chart and for everyone's benefit. But yes, so I will certainly post that. Let's move on to the next verse, which is 27. 6, sorry. Did we read 6?
Yes, Prabhu, I read 6.
Okay, sorry. 27 then. Who wants to read? Anyone wants to read, please? Yes, Sushilpa Mataji.
I'll try, Prabhu. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Yeah.
Swarupa Vigraha Krishnera Kevala Divi Bhuja Narayana Rupe Se Tanu Chaturbhuja Sankha Chakra Gada Padma Mahesvarya Maya Shri Bhuja Nīlā Sakti Yantra Karana Sevaya. Translation by His Divine
This just whenever this word C comes, Mataji, this for future, we read as cha, CH.
Oh.
So it will be charana.
Charana
or feet.
Sevaya. Oh, okay, got it. Oh, completely
No
changed
worries.
the
No,
meaning.
it's
Charana
not yet.
Sevaya.
Yeah, charana. Very nice. Please.
Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. Krishna's own form has only 2 hands, but in the form of Lord Narayana, he has 4 hands. Lord Narayana holds a conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower, and he is full of great opulence. The Śrī, Bhu, and Nīlā energies serve at his lotus feet. Purport: in the Ramanuja and Madhava sects of Vaishnavism, there are extensive descriptions of the Śrī, Bhu, and Nīlā energies. In Bengal, the Nīlā energy is sometimes called the Lila energy. These 3 energies are employed in the service of 4-handed Narayana in Vaikuntha. Relating how 3 of the Alvars, namely Bhuta Yogi, Sara Yogi, and Bharanta Yogi, saw Narayana in person when they took shelter at the house of a Brahmana in the village of Gehali. The Prapanamrata, the Prapanamrata of the Śrī Sampradaya describes Narayana as follows. Prabhu, you need to help me with this one. I think to beautifully read.
This is very, very technical. Darsha adhirudham tadid ambudambham lakshmi dharam vakshay pankajaksham hastadvaya shobhite shankachakram vishnum dadrishur bhagavantam adyam ajanubahum kamaniya gatram Parshvadvayeshobhita bhumi Nīlam Pitambaram bhushana bhushitangam Chaturbhujam chandanarushitangam.
They saw the lotus-eyed Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, mounted on Garuda and holding Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, to his chest. He resembled a a bluish rain cloud with flashing lightning, and in two of his four hands he held a conch shell and a disc. Disc. His arms stretched down to his knees, and all his beautiful limbs were smeared with sandalwood and decorated with glittering ornaments. He wore yellow clothes, and by either side stood his energies, Bhumi and Nīlā. Nīlā. There is the following reference to the Śrī, Bhu, and Nīlā energies in the Sītopanishad. Mahalakshmir Devesasya Binna Rupa Chetanatmika Sa Devi Trividya Bhavati Sakhye Atmana Icha Shaktir Kriya Shaktir Sakshat Chaktir iti Sakshat Chaktir iti Icha Shaktis Trividya Bhavati Shri Bhumi Nīlatmika. Shri Bhumi Nīlatmika. Mahalakshmi, the supreme energy of the Lord, is experienced in different forms. She is divided into material and spiritual potencies, and in both features, she acts as the willing energy, creative energy, and the internal energy. The willing energy is again divided into three, namely Shri, Bhu, and Nīlā. Should I continue, Prabhu? I think I want to discuss.
Let's read the purport. Lakshya can complete, and then we'll.
Okay, sure. Quoting from the revealed scriptures in his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita 4.6, Madhvacharya has stated that mother material nature, which is conceived of as the illusionary energy, Durga, has three divisions, namely Shri, Bhu, and Nīlā. She is the illusionary energy for those who are weak in spiritual strength, because such energies are created energies of Lord Vishnu. Although each energy has no direct relationship with the unlimited, they are subordinate to the Lord, because the Lord is the master of all energies. In his Bhāgavata-sevayā, text 23, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu states, the Padma Purana refers to the eternal auspicious abode of Godhead, which is full in all opulences, including the energies Shri, Bhu, and Nīlā. The Mahasamhita, which discusses the transcendental name and form of Godhead, also mentions Durga as the potency of the super soul in relationship with the living entities. The internal potency acts in relation with his personal affairs, and the material potency manifests the three modes. Quoting elsewhere from the related scriptures, he states that Shri is the energy of Godhead that maintains the cosmic manifestation. Bhu is the energy which creates the cosmic manifestation, and Nīlā, Durga, is the energy that destroys the creation. All these energies act in relation with the living beings, and thus they are together called Jiva Maya. Jiva Maya. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhu. Back to you.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, anyone has any thoughts, comments in this? A lot of technical words here. Let's try to
But good to know about a lot about Shakti, Mata Shakti, and all the forms, and they are together, the three forms, together with Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. Thank you, Prabhu. Just want to add.
Very nice. Because all, what's that famous word? Ichhanurupam, the Brahma Samhita.
Srishti sthiti pralaya sadhana shakti reka chaya vajasya bhuvanani vivarti durga ichhanurupam api jasya chachastatisa govindam adi purusham tamaham bhaja.
Beautiful. What's the translation of this verse? What you just recited, Prabhu?
This means that super that Srishti sthiti pralay, which Shakti Rekha, which is done by Ma Durga. She chastatisa. She tries her best to serve Govindam. I mean, that's my understanding, Prabhu. Please correct. Please said.
Let's take that verse. Srishti is creation. Sthita is maintenance or preservation. And pralaya is destruction. And basically, these are the three things which are primarily discussed in this verse. If we go back to the purport and notice here, the last lines are quite easy to understand. The Śrī energy is the energy which maintains. So first, let's talk about the Bhu. Bhu energy is the one which creates. Bhu basically means to happen. Like Sambhavami yuge yuge bhava, Bhu bhava. Chiramjeevi bhava, like someone gives Ashirvad. Chiramjeevi, may you have a long life, bhava. Right? Ayushman bhava, may you have a long life. Right? Are all these words you have heard, right? Bhava, Sambhavami, Yuge, Yuge. This material world is also called Bhava Sagar, right? Bhava means every moment something is happening in this world. Dukhalyam ashashvatam. So that's a connection with Bhu. So Bhu energy, which creates the creation, right? Or Bhuloka also, right? So then next is the Śrī energy, which maintains the cosmic manifestation, right? So after creation comes the preservation, Srishti, Sthiti. So Sthiti is the word used in that verse, is basically the Śrī energy is doing that. And Pralaya, right? And it's connected to the word here, Nīlā, right? No doubt Lord Shiva is also Nīlā, and his energy is Durga. He has we can connect that to Lord Shiva, who has a gold blue throat. Why? Because he's always chanting the name of the blue god. That's Krishna. Why is the sky blue? Anyone knows why is the sky blue? Sky is blue, right? Did we ever thought or think about it? Why is the sky blue? Nīlā?
Because of Krishna.
Yes, because Krishna is blue. Because sky is blue. It's his effulgence, right? So back to this Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta verse. Srishti sthiti pralaya sadhana shakti reka chayeva. Chaya means shadow or reflection. Chayeva yasya bhuvanani vivarti durga. Ichhanurupam. Ichha means desire. By whose desire? Ichhanurupam api yasya cha cheshtate sa. So The external potency, Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow, the Chit potency, is worshipped by all the people as Durga. A lot of people worship Durga Devi, Durga, Chandi, Kali, Bhadra Kali. We have read that in multiple aspects, or the creating, the preserving, and the destroying agency of this mundane material world. I adore that primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conduct herself. So, all these are Shaktis, Shri energy, Shri Shakti, Bhu Shakti, and Nīlā Shakti. Whose Shaktis are these? These are the Shakti comes from Shaktiman. And who's that Shaktiman? Krishna. Krishna, who has the two-handed form who's the original two-handed form. That same Krishna, when he goes to office, Lord Narayana, he has the four-handed form. Carrying what? Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So the conch and the lotus, Shankha and Padma, are to bless the devotees, and Chakra and Gada, Chakra is disc and Gada is club. I think in ISKCON Lachua temple, there's a very, very beautiful photo of the four-handed form of Lord Krishna carrying Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. I think our Ekant Prabhu also has at his home this four-handed form picture. So a lot of paintings available of the four-handed form. But that form is full of great opulence, because in Vaikuntha Loka, this form exists, and that is primarily the rasa is, which rasa is predominant in Vaikuntha Loka, where Lord Narayana is present. Anyone? Which rasa is predominant? What are the five rasas?
Dasya rasa, Prabhuji.
Dasya rasa, yes. And what is that called in English? Like explain in English. What's that? Servitorhood, right? There is no, we don't hear about friends of Lord Vishnu or friends of Narayana who are playing, hey, give me your club, I want to play with your club. Hey, you must be tired carrying your chakra. I want to carry, what do you think? You're a big person? Tumi kona bada log, tumi ami sam. No one says that over there, right? Krishna's friend. Krishna likes this more than the three rasas, namely the friendship, paternal, and the conjugal rasas are higher. But primarily in the Dasya rasa or Shantya are predominant. Like, Gada is also serving, but primarily in neutrality. There is no friendship, or no friendship relationship there. There's some picture. This is a very common picture. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. You may have seen. This is also another beautiful one. So that's Lord Narayana. And Shri, Bhu, and Nīlā. Energies are serving whom? They're serving Lord Narayana. They're serving Lord Krishna. Now, when Krishna goes to office, he is Narayana. But Krishna at home person is more casual. Like the example is given. If the child comes, or sometimes the wife of a CEO may come, or the child may come in the office of the CEO, the owner of the big company, what will they say? First, they have to go to reception, right? Oh, and then the receptionist or some executive assistant will call the boss, hey, your wife has come. The boss will say, hey, I'm in a meeting. Ask them to wait for 10 minutes and I'll see them. And, there'll be very formal exchange, right? They cannot hug each other. They cannot say, hey, they cannot spend time. They cannot, talk confidential stuff. And he cannot give right to hit his kid on his back in his office room, right? But when he comes home, he leaves the office stuff in the office. he is in his playful mood at home, has wonderful, loving conversations with his family, with his friends, with his parents, with his cowherd friends, etc. That's Krishna, joyful, playful, and in the Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya Rasa are predominant. Is it okay? Any more thoughts or comments here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very nicely described. Can I just share what Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj told about Krishna's form. So after our class, like in chapter 10, you asked like Krishna shows the Virat Rupa in chapter 10. So I heard one of his lecture, and he was telling that Krishna came as he is in this at Dapar Yuga, and in Gokula, Mathura, and Vrindavan, and in his original form. That is his two-handed form as Krishna. That's his real form. And then the others are all the incarnations. He has different forms. And also Krishna says that also when Krishna shows the universal form three times, once to Mother Yashoda, second is to Duryodhan, and third is to Arjuna. So Krishna gave the spiritual eyes or Dibba Chakshu to Arjuna to see Krishna's universal form. But Krishna did not give Arjuna the mind to absorb that form. So that's why after seeing Krishna's that Virat Rupa, Arjuna says, "Oh Krishna, please, enough, just come back to your original form, your two-handed form." So that's why that's the worshipable, most worshipable form for the devotees and for the living entities. That's what Maharaj was explaining. So thought to share this. That's the most beautiful form of Lord Krishna, and what the living entity can able to see, because he is the opulent, he has a lot of opulences. So he's omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. So that's what I just would like to share, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, devotees are not interested in the Virat Rupa. They like to see him in the two-handed form as Arjuna asked for. Thank you for sharing, Mataji. Very nice. Okay, we can read next verse. Yes, Manjali, Priya, you want to read, please? Maybe she is not in a position to read. Vikantro, want to read?
Krishna Prabhuji, I'll try to read. Hare Krishna everyone. Yatyapi kevala tanra krida matra dharma tatapi jivera kripaya kare eka karma. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Although his pastimes are his only characteristic functions, by his causeless mercy, he performs one activity for the fallen souls. Thank you, Mercy. Back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for reading. So what do you understand, Mataji, from this? Although his pastimes are his only characteristic functions, Krishna does not have to go to office like all of us to get money, or wash his car, or clean, do the laundry, or this or that. He is just busy doing his Nitya Lila. Yadyapi kevala, only his only business is krida matra. Krida is basically, is in this case, krida literal meaning is play, so it's playful pastimes. He's busy doing his Nitya Lila, right? All his different energies are doing different functions of creation, maintenance, and this and that we just read in the Supreme Lord is busy doing Nitya Lila or Krida Matra. By his causeless mercy, he performs one activity for the fallen souls. Let's see. What is that activity? And actually, Krishna appears, so we don't have to take birth again. Krishna is born so that we can get out from the cycle of birth and death. So he does his pastimes sometimes in the material world, although in the spiritual world is always doing those. He does those in the material world so that by his causeless mercy, he performs one activity for the fallen souls. That's basically us. So his Lila, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam. Lakshay, what's next?
Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Evam Yoveti Tatvata Yakva Deham Puna Janma Naiti Mameti Sarshina.
Which verse is it?
I think it's 4.9.
4.9. Good. 4.9. Yeah, 7, 8, 9. All three are important. Very good. You have passed. So Krishna does that, and anyone who understands that will be free from the cycle of birth and death. So the Krishna, the Supreme Lord, appears and enacts various pastimes so that we don't have to appear again in this material world. So we can be freed from the cycle of birth. This is his causeless mercy. Tomara, what's that bhajan? Gauranga, Tomara Loinu Avatara. Tomara Ami Bina Bandhuar Ke Acha Tomara. I have specially descended for you, Lord Gauranga is saying. Right? Who would be so much merciful? Lord Jagannath, so merciful. He goes to the street. Now the Yatra is coming. Snan Yatra is in, I guess, tomorrow, or when is it?
Tomorrow, Prabhuji.
Okay, tomorrow is Snan Yatra. Good timing. Tomorrow is Snan Yatra. The Lord Jagannath comes out of the temple on the Snan Yatra, on the Snan Vedi, giving darshan to thousands and millions of souls. And then Rath Yatra 2 days back was in New York, where thousands and thousands of great devotees and so many people got chants on the Broadway. That's one of the most prominent streets in the New York City. And giving darshan, why? To give his mercy to everyone. He does not have, although his only business is his pastimes. Yet, by his causeless mercy, he performs this activity for the fallen souls. So we should be very, very grateful. He's giving trailers of his pastime, so we can relish those. We are discussing Krishna Katha, right? That's basically Kirtan, Krishna Katha Kirtan, Rupa Kirtan, Nam Kirtan, Guna Kirtan. So that we can, and this is the business of devotees. Machata Madgata Prana, to discuss Krishna Katha amongst each other, so that we can be relieved from the bondage of cycle of birth and death. And that's why he gives these Katha, his pastimes. Any more thoughts before we pause for today? It's time. Okay, so I guess we will pause here and we will continue tomorrow. So for now, we can meditate upon Lord Balarāma, his Shaktis, and the three things we discussed, Śrī, Bhu, and Nīlā Shakti. Let's glorify Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Shri Krishna's Godhead Goswami ki jai, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai, Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath, Shri Goswami Prabhugan ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai.
Zindagi jai,
Vancha
Mancha
kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Kalpatarubhyascha
sindhyayaiva cha
Kripasindhyayaivacha
patitanam
Patitanam
pavanebhyo.
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo
Hare
Namaha.
Krishna. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna, thank
all.
you so much. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.